Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome into another episode of Let's Talk Bets. I am your host, Matt Larrison, always joined by Tanner and Mr. Scott Cobe. Gentlemen, how are we today?
We're off work, and now we're talking sports. That's what I like.
Very, very spotty right now. That's all I got to say. I'm very spotty.
Scott, get this off your chest now before we start. You've been
okay
this whole time.
So the Emmy Award winning morning newsletter on Wednesdays with me and our esteemed one of our esteemed hosts, Alan Perales. He said that the Chiefs defense is very spotty, and they just basically shut Jacksonville down on Sunday. He thinks the Chiefs defense is spotty at best. And Tanner was in the comment section this morning, so Tanner kind of just kept going off on him, and every comment he put the word spotty in every comment. He says after the show, I really stepped in it. I said, yes, you did. Yes, you did. I said, you're never going to live this down.
But that's what happens,
Well, this is the guy that has
get those comments.
Yeah, and this is a guy that's been on the Buffalo Bills will not make the playoffs this year. He's been on it all summer long. He said it all summer. The Bills won't go to the playoffs. That's what he said. So I said, you may be a guest on the LTS Sunday show pretty soon, and you may be spotty at best, to be honest with you. So.
Well, Alan, if you're watching this on the replay eventually, there are a few men looking to bounty you. So well done. Well, so we've got a good week of betting. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That's when things get heated up. Usually Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I take a second to look at my bank account and kind of think about life before I dive in here. So I've done something different. We talked, the three of us. We each have a pick of the day. We're going to replace that with our Football Fire 4 picks that we were doing, just so we can get an idea of what we all like. Sometimes we'll agree. Sometimes we'll have the same, but there's going to be times where we got some different stuff here. So we're going to show that, but also go through the best bets of each day of this upcoming week. So I think if you guys are all right, we'll start with our picks of the day, and then we'll just start breaking everything down. How's that sound?
That's good.
Sounds good to me.
All right. I'll go first. I'll break the ice here. Let's start Thursday. It's obviously Thursday night football. There is a college game. We'll probably talk about that, but it's nothing spicy. So give me San Francisco Giants under 44.5. My mind is blown that the number is still at this point. I think it's probably falling as I speak. But 44.5, I think the Niners are still a 10-point favorite, which you follow that line. 10.5, look at that. There you go. Anytime those two numbers mix together, you take the under. And also it's Thursday night football. And also the Giants are probably not going to have Saquon Barkley. This is an easy one for me. I think San Francisco completely just dominates the Giants.
Saquon is officially ruled out, by the way. He is not playing, officially ruled out, so don't count him in your lineups.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also Andrew Thomas, their left tackle, is out as well. So
correct.
Oh, my goodness. I didn't know about that. Whew. Yeah, give me the under. I'm only worried that the Niners are just going to score a ton of points on them. That's my fear.
That's my worry. That's why I can't go. I can't go this route either.
Okay. I'm feeling the under. I really don't think that. I think if San Francisco gets a couple scores, they'll methodically just ground and pound, burn clock. Who do the Giants have to rely on? What they needed Barkley. I mean, Breida is such a he's such a less value compared to Barkley that it's just too far of a step off. Right. I mean, I don't like the lines when they're at 10. Realistically, I would probably take -10 for the Niners, but I don't usually touch them. I just go with the under. But give me San Francisco Giants under 44.5 on Thursday. Friday, my boys, those worthless Virginia Cavaliers play NC State. Give me NC State -9. Easy money there. NC State has an excellent defense. They played Notre Dame tough for almost 4 quarters, pretty much 3. And then Notre Dame just started turnovers, quite a bit of turnovers from NC State side. Notre Dame piled it on, but they have a good defense. And Virginia has not seen a defense like that all season, and they're still getting murdered. So I'm going to absolutely go with the -9. I was kind of surprised it was only at -9. Florida State on Saturday, they're only a 2.5-point favorite against Clemson. Give me the Seminoles all day long. I know that, last week Boston College gave them a scare, probably looking ahead a little bit. There's no worry here. I'm really surprised the line is that close. So I am happy with that because that is an easy pick for me. Of all my picks, I think that's my favorite one. I think they get the job done either outright or if it's close, then I guess, but I just don't see it. Sunday, Dallas, Arizona under 43.5. The Cowboys defense is going to absolutely obliterate the Cardinals, especially after Arizona did the biggest sell job of all time and basically letting the Giants win that game last week, which saved my Survivor Series. So I'll take that. But yeah, they don't want to win a game. They're not going to make it competitive. Dallas is going to walk all over them. So that's an easy one for me. And then Monday, Philly -5 against Tampa. It's time Tampa takes their first loss. Philly's the first real test that they get. Another week for Hurts to hopefully figure it out like he did last season. They're going to run the ball. Give me the Birds at -5. I feel really comfortable with that number. So, gentlemen, you going to argue with me on any of these, or what do you think?
The San Francisco one is the only one I really would question because San Francisco could win the game 41-7. It's possible. I don't see where the Giants are going to do anything. The rest of them I like. The rest of them I like a lot. Philly, Tampa Bay, I have my questions. Tampa Bay, I disagree with you. They haven't played anybody. The Bears are pretty good, so we'll say they play. No, I'm just kidding.
You and Alan today are gonna get me going.
I'm just kidding. Justin Fields could be the worst quarterback in the NFL this year, or one of them. No, but I like him. I think Thursday's the only chance you have to lose one of these. So,
well, I am surprised that was the one you picked on because that's the algorithm you follow. And -10 or above, you go with the under on Thursday night. But you could be right. So, Tanner, what do you think?
My only worry is this under you have for Dallas, Arizona.
Okay.
The over under for Arizona. They did hit against Washington. They did not hit it against the Giants, obviously. And the Dallas didn't hit the over in the Jets game, but not against the Giants because the Giants couldn't score a damn lick, right?
Exactly.
I think 43.5 is a really low number. I think I'd be pretty tempting to take that over actually into that because we've seen the Cowboys, they can score on the defensive side too. All it takes is a couple turnovers near the end zone and Josh Dobbs, lets one go. Then you have a couple touchdowns. I mean, you're looking at possibly, 21, 28 points all by itself right there. And we know Arizona, they can sneak in and, steal themselves a touchdown or two. We saw it last week with that lead they had. So that'd be my matchup that I'd be concerned about in your picks. It's just that over under at 43.5. It's just such a low number. If they would have given me 45, I would have felt a lot better about it. But 43.5 is just too low. Don't mind anything else, really. Like I said, San Francisco, I think, is going to throw the ball, and I think McCaffrey's going to run the ball. The Philly one as well. Tampa Bay, hey, be careful, Tampa Bay, on that matchup there. That's that's one to use your DraftKings has a zero risk bet bonus that you can use up to $10. That'd be the one to use on that Philadelphia Tampa Bay one, just because we've seen Tampa Bay's defense is still healthy. It's still healthy. Baker's finding Evans, who I said Evans was going to have a great year still during my draft shows. Yeah. Evans is still there. And the run game is finally Rashad White's. Edmonds, I believe, is hurt. Nobody else is around for him. It's Rashad White. So they finally got established running back, who it's going to be. Baker's looking good, getting to Evans, and that defense is still healthy. I'm a little worried with Philadelphia there, but hey, I don't mind it all. Like I said, Dallas, Arizona is my big circle on that one.
I mean, Tanner, let me ask you something on the Monday night Philly Tampa Bay game. I might be comfortable taking the over on that game. It's got sneaky shootout potential written in it, so I might be comfortable taking the over.
I don't want to be bad. Let's see what our numbers are now. I haven't looked today with it. What is that, Monday night, right?
Yeah, because Philly is down their cornerbacks 2 and 3, and and one of their safeties. They're not.
So your over under right now is 45.5 and 46. It seems like it's trending starting to go down a little bit there. I let it ride until Monday, see where it's at. If it drops to 44, I'd take that over. If it sticks at 46, it's a kind of a wash for me. I don't know if I'd really bet it at 46 or 45.5, but it drops. If it touches 44 though by Monday, I wouldn't mind throwing a little bit on it.
Exactly. Yeah. Or between now and Monday. If you see it hits 44, anybody out there, put it in. And that could be the no sweat bet that you put in.
Yeah.
The over under. So that you'll get your bet back in a bonus bet. And you can bet again the next week. Or you'd have to bet the next week because Cincinnati and the Rams are playing later that night. But that game will already be started before. So
well, Tanner, if there's one thing Scott knows, it's that I'm quite the tease, and Dallas, Arizona under will probably be teased just a touch. But I do see 43.5 being a potential because they trounced the Giants 40-0. Arizona has a worse offense, especially, they had Barkley at that point, and they still did that. I think that it's either going to be a blowout of 35, 42 points, or Arizona tries to keep it close somehow, and Dallas has some struggles trying to score. But I could see it either way. Like you said, it's going to be interesting to see what my win total is after this week. Tanner, I will jump into you. I've got your picks right here on the board. Convince me. Well, first off, the biggest one is you got to convince me on Boston College because Louisville, I got them trouncing Boston College. So lay it on me. How are we doing this?
I mean, Louisville this should be a blowout, but so should have last week against BC with Florida State, right? It should have been a blowout. It should have never been a ball game last weekend, and it was. BC in all three of their games have pretty much made it fairly close, right? Within a few points coming into play. 13 and a half. It's actually up to 14 now. It's too many points. Too many points. If it would have been 7, probably would have skipped over it. But BC's been playing actually pretty decent for most of the game. Usually just blow the leads and blow the chances to win. But they've been playing teams. I mean, we saw against Florida State last week. They played really tough defense, gave Florida State fits on that pass rush. Well, Louisville is not Florida State. I hate to break it to people. Louisville is not Florida State. And they're not as near as talented. Sure, they're 3-0. Say it all you want. That team also is struggled. I think they had one blowout win they had, and that's it. Everything else has been really close to them. So that's why I have BC at plus 14. I think 14 is just way too many points. Especially, I believe this is considered a conference game, right?
It is. Yep, Louisville's in the ACC too. So
even more of a reason why 14 is just too much. I mean, now something matters even more than just playing other teams outside. So you had Florida State last week. You played really close. Louisville, I think once again they will play close.
Yeah, I like 14 definitely more than 13.5. I know a half a point isn't a lot, but I could totally see.
But it is. It could be everything,
Yeah. I like the push opportunity. It was they were so close to being Florida State, and I do worry about a potential letdown. I mean, this team isn't like going in any places in terms of ACC title game, national championship, but they put their heart and soul out there last weekend, and Louisville, they got stuff to figure out too. They got Notre Dame in a couple of weeks. They're trying to potentially be in the ACC hunt. I mean, it's open. I mean, Florida State,
it is.
Clemson's not good this year. I would actually say probably, you've got Florida State number 1, North Carolina number 2, and then the rest is wide open. So Louisville's got to figure it out. But yeah, we'll see. Love McCaffrey over 17.5 rushes. That's easy. I
thought that was pretty low for what considered should be a blowout game. Like 17.5, like he should easily be able to hit that 22 mark. As long as, of course, burn God for giving any freaking injuries, but he should be able to be the main guy, just taking it up the middle, running the clock down as they're up by 21,
Yeah, so that's basically less than 5 rushes a quarter, if you want to look at it that way. And
yeah.
I just don't see how he doesn't do that. If he doesn't do that, I don't know. Maybe the Giants pull off a victory. Because that's how
it'd be goddamn Shanahan's system out there and not wanting to do what he's supposed to do and run the damn ball to run your clock down because you're up 14-21 nothing.
Yeah, so yeah, so rushing attempts have been something I've been doing a little research into because I've been curious with these lines. And Tony Pollard was one I looked at, and they wanted to keep Tony Pollard, I guess, not on a snap count. They wanted to kind of rest him though. He had 27 carries last week. So these main start setbacks, they're gonna get the ball, they're gonna run, and they're gonna feast. The only setback on this bet is McCaffrey pulls another hammy, which you got about as good of a bet on the rushing attempts as he does pulling a hammy, probably. But but no, I love that one. Actually, my favorite bet of yours though, Air Force San Jose State over 47. Both these teams can score. Both the teams can score pretty good. Air Force, boy, they proved me wrong last week. That was impressive.
That's the thing, right? That's what they should do. San Jose's not that good. They should be able to put up a bunch of points. San Jose puts up a bunch of points too in their last couple of games. This should be a shootout. This should be everybody's out there passing, having to get in the end zone. This should be fairly close going into the fourth quarter.
I mean, that's 21-28 right there. You win. 21-27, you win.
Yeah. That's all I'm looking at.
San Jose State put 28 up on USC. USC obviously doesn't have the greatest defense, but they're definitely a real team. And Air Force, boy, they could score 47 on their own. I was just amazed by how well Air Force played. I know it was Utah State, but they're a different team for sure. Indy +8 on Sunday against Baltimore. This one's tough.
Can I make the substitute there?
Oh, we're substituting. Yes, absolutely.
I'm substituting the Indy game for the Titans +3.5 -112.
I like that.
Over the Browns. Sorry. I went looking late this afternoon. I was helping somebody out, and I was like, I think I'm going to sub it. If I'm able to sub it, I'm going to sub it.
So it's Tennessee +3.5?
Tennessee +3.5 versus Cleveland.
It has been there.
Kareem Hunt's not going to be a factor yet.
We didn't even have Indy on here, Tanner, so you're good. Good back.
There we go. That's now I feel a lot better about this one.
Yeah, because the Indy one, I don't know if Richardson plays. Baltimore might swarm a rookie quarterback, so the 8 points is okay, but it does scare me. I love this bet. Without Nick Chubb, Cleveland is lost. They're completely lost. I don't care.
That Tennessee defense is so good. Look what they did to Herbert last week too. Be able to contain him enough, keep that offense from really blowing him out, and giving their offensive chances.
It blows my mind. I have to say this, Scott, but Tennessee is the one team in the AFC that nobody talks about, and they could potentially do something. They could beat Jacksonville for that division realistically if they played their cards right. They played those 2 games against them, tight and tough. Take one or both. They are right there. I mean, they were the number 1 seed a few years ago, and nobody even thought to think about that. So, just crazy.
It's injuries, though. It's injuries.
It's injuries, yeah.
That's what gets them.
Their run defense is nasty this year. Completely nasty. It's, the passing, the secondary isn't as good, but guess what? Deshaun Watson's been awful this year. He's been awful. I mean, they paid him all that money. He's awful. Right now, he's not playing good football. And now you're asking a backup running back to carry the running back load because, as Tanner said, Kareem Hunt will not be ready for this Sunday, no matter what anybody says. So you're asking Jerome Ford and P.S. Strong to be the tandem in the backfield? No, thank you. No, thank you. So I think Tennessee's going to win the game outright, to be honest with you. I don't think they even need the points. I think they'll go into Cleveland and win the game. So, and
I think if you guys don't hop on the Rams right now +2.5, you're gonna lose it. It's gonna turn to -2.5 by Monday. You got to go get it because Joe Burrow's out. He's out for a few weeks, and I think that's gonna make. Granted, there's not much going on with Burrow in there. It's still gonna make a difference of getting the ball to Teague, being able to be comfortable in the pocket. That line is horrendous right now. They're still figuring things out. They won't be later, but they are horrendous right now. You go out, get it now, +2.5, and swarm it. Swarm it right now before it switches.
Go ahead. Go, Scott.
I saw on a show. I was watching a show on the Action Network. They said when this opened Sunday night, it was Rams +5.5.
Yeah.
So if you had looked ahead and thought right after the Cincinnati game, hey, Burrow hurt his calf, he might be out for a couple of weeks, you could have got this at 5.5 and not 2.5. boy, would you be sitting on a really, really good chance to cash big on that. So I agree with Tanner. Get it now. Get it now.
Is Burrow officially out, Tanner?
Yeah, he's officially out. He'll be out a few weeks.
Yeah, he's not playing. He's not playing.
He shouldn't have played in the first 2 weeks anyways. You know,
you should right.
That early in the season, that early on, and you're coming off an injury like that, and we all know his injury history early in the season, in the preseason. Get the guy, make sure he's 100%. Like Chase said, Chase even came out and said it too. Make sure the guy's 100%. All it takes is a couple of hits when you're down that early to put yourself out of contention because your quarterback's out. It was a bad spot. They got to protect Burrow. They got to protect their players from themselves, right? And they didn't do that. Now they're sitting here week 3, week 4, possibly week 5. You know, you could be starting at 0-5, which isn't the end. We've started out 1-4 as the Chiefs fans. We've been there. And we turned to the number 1 seed. But it shouldn't have never happened. He should have missed last week in the week 1 and maybe started this week.
Yeah, and you know they have a week 7 bye, so you know they just have to get it right. A couple of games before that bye week, and then you know get healthy. And I'll tell you right now, for fantasy purposes, I actually just traded for Burrow. I bought low on him. He's going to murder in fantasy by the end of the season, so because it'll be desperation mode for them.
It will be.
I think the one thing the Bengals need to do, IR him now. Put him on injured reserve now. No temptation to play him. He's on injured reserve. He comes back after the bye week. He's fresh. He's ready to go. His calf isn't a problem. Just get him out off the active roster for 4 weeks. So
you said it here. GM Scott Cobe says IR. Joe Burrow.
IR him.
Take a Tahiti vacation. Scott, let's talk about your picks. Let's see what we agree with, what we disagree with. Giants under 16.5 total points. Yeah, that's gonna smash. This Giants team couldn't score. Punch a hole through a paper bag.
There is no path I see to them scoring 17 points. No path.
No Saquon. If Saquon was in, I wouldn't have done that bet. But
right, I wouldn't have
Saquon, it's possible.
They don't have any big playmakers. I mean, Hyatt had a good catch, the other day, but I just don't know how they're going to matriculate the ball down the field. I mean, they could score 9, they could get 3 field goals, but I just don't know how they get in the end zone. It just
are they going to use Jalen Hyatt appropriate like they did last week? If you use Jalen Hyatt correctly, you can use him more. They can move the ball down the field. They got weapons out there to replace Saquon. Jalen Hyatt should be a big factor. He's fast. He's small. He can get around the corner. But if they don't do it, it's pointless. They're not going to move the ball because they can't. Because Daniel Jones can't throw the damn ball past 15 yards, if that.
Right. And Daniel Jones has been garbage, Scott.
Yeah. No question. No question. What I tend to do early in the week is look at team totals. And if I see one I really like, I bet it right away. Because you know that Giants team total is going down to probably 13.5 or 14. So take any chance away from it that it gets to 14 for them and just bet it now. Like Tanner said with the Rams game, which I have too, bet it now. Don't even wait. Just throw a bet on it.
Well,
team
it's also
still 16.5 for the Giants.
Well, it's also a short week for them. I mean, losing Barkley. They had a heroic victory over the worthless Cardinals, who are probably not even going to sniff a win, maybe a tie. I just can't see it.
The only thing that concerns me on that bet, though, is the momentum that they're taking into this game. Yes, you don't have Saquon, but you have momentum. You finally got that. You broke that, that barrier that was holding you down by scoring 28 points in the second half or whatever it was.
Yeah.
You broke it down. Now you got momentum carrying into the Thursday night game. Yes, it's against a better defense, because Arizona's defense is not any slouches either. They hold it to you, like we saw in week 1 too. So that'd be the only concern, is that there's some kind of momentum, some kind of confidence where they're able to break free, make some key catches, and move the ball down the field in the first half. So that'd be the only thing holding me back at the moment.
Right. And the thing that would hold me back is if the Giants score a touchdown early in the first quarter, they're probably going to make 16.5. But I like I said, I don't see a path to them getting to 17. If they do, it might be in the fourth quarter that they get to the 17. And I don't think they're even going to get to 14, to be honest with you. I think they're going to be held to field goals. I don't think they're getting in the end zone. So
that's going to be punishing.
Yeah.
Friday, Air Force minus 3.5 for San Jose State. I like that one too. I mean, I think Air Force is the better team.
Yes. I read a stat today. Air Force is the number 1 rushing team in the country and the number 1 defensive team in the country right now. Wow. Perfect recipe for them to play San Jose State.
It is perfect.
What did they do? 85. I listened to the game. I had a parlay with Air Force on it last week, and it hit. I had Army, Air Force, and Colorado over. And I listened to that game last week because I couldn't. It was on TV someplace. I couldn't find it. So I turned on Sirius, and 85% of their plays were running plays. So they scheme to run the ball. Their offensive line creates massive holes in their in the offense, and those backs just go right through it and go right down the field. So, and they scored 38 points last week or something, I think. Mm-hmm. They had high 30s. So,
yeah. And Friday night again, back to Friday. They do really well on Fridays too. So that's the nice part.
Air Force has a chance to win the Mountain West Conference, a really good shot to win the Mountain West Conference. So that's another bet I would be willing to make too.
They're definitely winning the Commander-in-Chief's Cup this year. Navy is terrible, and
difference.
And Army is not bad. I was shocked that they beat the Roadrunners, but they are still working on that passing attack change that they have with their offense. So I think Air Force is just the better bet. Liberty FIU over 52.5. Tell me a little bit about this one. I don't know enough, I guess, to make a claim.
Liberty went to a new quarterback start of the season. They replaced their quarterback they had with the new quarterback. They've averaged almost 35 points a game in their 3 games so far. I read a lot of stuff on Liberty. I as of you, I wasn't sold on it, so I read a lot of stuff. Liberty scores a lot of points, gives up a lot of points. Defensively, they're not great defensively. So this game could be a 35-24 game. But their quarterback is really, really good. He's one of those guys that goes to a small school like Liberty that gets drafted, in the 7th round or undrafted, and all of a sudden people start talking about him like he's really, really good. So based on what they're averaging, what they're giving up, I think this game smashes the over 52.5. I think it goes in the 60s. Just like I thought Colorado was going to smash last week, and it did. So
I guess I'm only worried about FIU doing what their part is. Like, that's my only fear. FIU, they're just kind of not good all around. Right. I mean, we did beat UConn.
And that's another reason I picked it, Matt, is because FIU is not good defensively, and they're going to give up some points. And I think if Liberty puts up in the 30s, I think FIU can get to 17 pretty easy.
What's the over-under? 52?
I got it at 52.5 when I first saw it.
This is money, Matt. This is money, dude. Look at these 3 scores for FIU in their games. Against Buffalo last week, 55-27. Against New Mexico State, 33-17. And then Bowling Green, 34-24. They give up points.
Yeah.
They can score a little bit too, but they give up points.
Yeah.
Like Scott said, I think this is actually kind of money on 52.5 for this game.
And you're talking about Liberty, Tanner?
No, that was FIU.
That was FIU? Okay.
Yeah, we're talking Liberty here. And it did not update. Oh, it didn't update. Sorry. That was Liberty. FIU, 24-17 against UConn. North Texas, 46-39. And week 1 with Maine, was University of Maine, was 14-12. That my app didn't update there. If that's that actually,
it's the Liberty side.
That concerns me. It's Liberty style.
Well, so FIU, they scored 24 on UConn, which if you're going to give UConn any credit, defensively they're better than offensively. And we actually saw that with NC State. They had a hard time scoring against UConn. Well, so
24, 46, 14, right, is their score that they won. Their loss against Wiz and Tech in week 0 was 17 points. So I mean they're putting up, they can put up a couple of touchdowns. They don't need to put up anything fancy like 46, but if they could throw up a 21, a 24. You know,
I think Liberty's going to get to 35.
Liberty can take care of the rest.
Yeah.
We get the 35, Scott. I mean, with the half point, 35-17 doesn't give you the gusto, but
no, 35-21 does, and I think that's what I'm looking at.
I like it though. I like the little risk to it. You know.
Yeah.
See what happens.
It's easy. Listen, it's easy to put the Giants team total in and Arizona, which we're going to talk about next, team total in. You gotta kind of go risky at one, like you went Florida State Clemson. That's risky. That's a little risk in that pick. I could pick. We all could pick 5 easy games and go with that and say, okay, that's it, we're done. I want to put some risk in the one pick.
Listen, Scott, you you're addicted to gambling when you're reading Liberty articles. I think that's where we.
Yes,
I'm gonna put the hotline on the screen now for you to call.
Listen, I'm looking for easy wins any place I can get it. You know, money's money. Green is green. I love green. So
I was sitting in my chair last year watching. They do the MAC attack during the week, so it was like Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, all MAC games, Ohio and every. And my wife comes over. She's like, "What team is this?" And I was like, "I honestly know way too much, and I need to stop because I'm just I don't give a crap about these teams. I'm just gambling. Like this guy probably has played high school at some joke school, and he's barely made the team. Like it's just
coming out of E2. Yeah,
but to that point, Scott, I love those bets because when you get, I'm not saying things are rigged, but we've talked about that in the past too.
Yeah.
When you get like those big heavy games, the games that are so saturated with bets, and those make me uncomfortable. But these ones, nobody's watching, nobody's paying attention, except for the people who are really doing their research and trying to figure out. You can win the same amount of green on Liberty FIU as you could FSU Clemson if you just did it right. So there's less publicity on this one. So that's why I like these bets a lot. You kind of, can be sneaky with it.
And before we go on, I'll be honest with you. I looked at my parlay after I put it in Army, Air Force, and Colorado State over, and I said, what the hell am I doing betting an Army game? What the hell? That doesn't look good.
I would love to bet Army games, but they won't let me here in New York.
Oh, they won't?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can't bet BC games here in Boston.
Wow.
I can't bet BC games.
That makes sense.
You don't want to bet BC, Scott. Come on.
I bet against them last week, and they killed me.
Yeah. Don't touch BC, Scott. I don't need your.
Well, you hear the thing today.
Background.
BC's swimming team, men's and women's swimming team, is under investigation for hazing. So it's going to the swim.
Oh gosh,
it's like
hazing again.
Hazing. Yeah. Well, how can you haze in the swim team? You just throw them in the deep end of the pool. Say swim.
Go swim.
Go swim. Do it.
They could pull a Salem witch trial and throw an anchor on them and see how far.
Yeah.
All right, Scott. Convince me on Sunday, Arizona. You don't really have to. I just completely agree with you.
Have we seen Dallas's defense play this year?
Put everything what you said about the Giants and just add the Cardinals to it. I think that's really how we can solve that one.
16
Josh
points.
Dobbs.
That's all you got to see. That's all you got to see.
Josh Dobbs leading an Arizona offense against the number 1 rated defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
Not going to be good.
I wonder what his props are for interceptions, because I would probably take that.
It's got to be over a half. They don't go past the half.
See if it's out yet. See if it's
at a half, though, I want that.
Well, if his passing yards are over 200, I'm definitely going under.
Oh, where you at? There you are. Let's see here. Player props. Dobbs. Interceptions is 0.5 currently. You can get under at plus 125, plus 120. Touchdown passes is 0.5 with the under plus 145. Touchdowns is 0.5 period, like just 0.5 with an over of plus 650 of just touchdowns.
Holy cow. Oh, that I think
half a touchdown plus 650.
Yeah, I think he has to rush, right?
Yeah, that's a rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
Well, so interceptions are a half. What's the over? What's the over for that?
Let's see here.
Minus 140.
The over under is 43.5.
No, I mean for interceptions for Dobbs.
Interceptions. Player props. So over is minus 150, minus
That's-
160.
That is a really good prop. Minus 150. That is. Whew. You can't tell me he's not going to throw an interception on Dallas. They're so stingy. Oh,
Yeah,
I love
they are.
that. I'm surprised it's that low. I would have expected it to be in the 200s. So I guess it's situational, but it's just it's a perfect recipe. I think.
I want to say I'll bet you Vegas thinks that Dallas is going to shut him out this weekend because 15 and a half is a lot for them. I thought it would be somewhere around 12, and it wasn't. I was surprised a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it 12 now? It must be 12 now.
It's going up to 12 and a half.
It's going up to, yeah. I looked at 15 and a half on DraftKings. That was Monday or Tuesday, I think. Monday or Tuesday it was. Yesterday. And so it's gone down. And I think they think they're going to shut him out. That's what I think Vegas thinks.
Yeah,
So,
I think Dallas is going to continue to roll, especially on these weaker teams. They want to, kind of assert themselves. They got some good games coming up down the slate. So they want to stack these wins when they can get them for sure. Yep. And they want to take over against Philly. They want that NFC East. I think they want that almost more than the Super Bowl. You ask Dallas fans, I bet you they would say it's pretty close.
No, we're not asking Dallas fans. Not Flo and Allen. There's no way.
They're spotty at best, dude. Spotty.
Yeah, spotty at best. But I think Dallas doesn't have anybody until San Francisco in week 5 or 6. I think it's 6. So.
And we talked Rams, Bengals. You're on the same page with Tanner.
Get it now.
That's easy money. So let's go through the week here and just look at some other things we got going on and see if we can find any other gems.
I have one. I have one already that I have already bet. Colorado, Oregon is at 71 right now. I can't see any way this gets to 70 points. That's a lot of points. I've never seen a 70 over under. Or it's been very rare.
70 and a half.
Yeah.
If you go to the teaser for that, it's probably close to 80. The highest you could go is 80. If you want to do like a same game parlay where you did that with something else, like maybe you thought Oregon was just going to dominate, and let me crunch some numbers here because I'm a teaser guy.
I understand Oregon scored 81 and 55 against Hawaii last week. Okay, I understand that. Okay, but this is like a 35 to 17 type of game for me. This is not Colorado. This is Colorado's stiffest test going to Oregon. There's no way for Colorado could put 30 points up on the board. And that's what he's asking.
If you did the money line for Oregon, so right now they're a 21-point favorite, so you could even do like maybe like a -3 or whatever if you are really. Hey, Alan, how are you doing?
There he is.
So if you did
body, weren't they, Alan?
So if you do that plus the under can go all the way up to 80 and a half. It's -320. You're at -230 for an Oregon money line and under 80 points. That's a pretty good start. You tease one more thing in that game, you're gonna have plus odds on. Really, I mean, if people are high on Colorado, but I think Oregon wins this game. I don't know by how much, but if Colorado wants to win, it's not going to be in a shootout. I think, especially without Travis Hunter, it's going to be more, like we're stopping them from scoring type of a thing. Big thing that nobody's looking at either. This is not a late game like they normally are. This is a 3:30 game.
Yeah,
3:30, 2:30 Central.
Here's a stat I heard today on Oregon's quarterback Bo Nix. Home games, conference home games. He's thrown 63 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in his college career. 3.
He's
so
very
there's a prop out there for interceptions. I would tend to take the under on that one. He does not make mistakes at home.
And that's why I like the under too, because I feel like Oregon scores a ton of points on teams. Like, for example, I took the under last week against Hawaii and it hit because they can score, and they were scoring like crazy. But then they get up and then they just coast. That's a very coast type team. They don't push the needle. Against Colorado, I think that they really are just going to shut Colorado down without Travis Hunter. I just don't think that they can, score like they have been against some of these other teams. You got to remember, too, Colorado survived Colorado State. Colorado State is not good. They're not good. TCU, not good. We found that out, a few weeks after they lost to Colorado. So Colorado has done well. This team wasn't expected to win more than 4 or 5 games this year, and they're just overperforming. The fact that they jumped into the top 25 is honestly like pure criminal activity because they beat teams that are not good. You know who should be in the top 25 right now is Air Force. That should be a team in the top 25 instead of Colorado. And we're going to find that out this weekend. I think Oregon is going to get the job done. I think the Dion effect slows down a little bit. I'm praying that they beat USC. That would be great. Hilarious. But I just
and here's the other thing. And here's the other thing. What we've watched a ton of football. Generally, when teams get on a high to play, the next week they come way down.
Yeah.
And I think Colorado is going to come way down off of that because all the talk was it's personal, it's a rivalry game. We're going to get up for it. We're going to play. And they were down 21-17 early in the fourth quarter. So they had to expend a ton of energy to get back in that game, tie it, and win it in double overtime. So they're obviously going to come way down. And in Colorado State in their game, same thing. I think they're going to lose their game outright to Middle Tennessee State because they're going to come way down off that high from the Colorado game. And Middle Tennessee State's going to be right there waiting for them saying, okay, boys, we know you're off an emotional high. Here we go. And Middle Tennessee is just going to take it right to Colorado State and win that game.
Last thing about this Colorado game, Oregon is a much worse matchup for them than USC because on USC, they can score. They can try to be creative. Oregon, I think, is just they're too balanced on both sides of the ball. And I think that's why I just love Oregon in this situation. I don't know if I love them at 21. I really think that, Colorado's going to give it their all, but I just don't see them. I don't see them being able to keep it a game for the whole game. I really don't. All right, let's go back to Thursday. Go ahead, Scott.
The last thing on that Colorado game is bet that over under now because it can't go up anymore. It's going to come down.
Yeah.
I know it's Wednesday right now, but it's certainly going to come down because 71's a lot for a college football game. So
yeah, absolutely.
If you want to ensure a win, take it now.
Oh, you had to ask me, dude. Listen, I'll just break this down quickly. I will have no bets on this Notre Dame game.
Zero. I
haven't been this excited for a Notre Dame game since 2012 when they went and played Alabama and got embarrassed, by the way. But when they had Everett Golson, and that was really the first time with Manti Te'o and all that. This team can win a national title. They can. With an actual quarterback, they can win a national title. I'm really excited. The line keeps going down, gets closer and closer to a straight pick'em. And Ohio State hasn't looked like how they used to with like Stroud. I think they're a little vulnerable, so I'm hoping that that's the case. But I could never bet on a game like this. I have to just purely watch it as a fan. If I had to pick a bet, show me the under here. The over-under.
I'm not betting this game either, but I think Notre Dame's in a perfect spot this week.
It's also in South Bend. It's in South Bend.
And I think the way to beat Ohio State is to hold on to the ball, and Notre Dame's running game is very, very good this year. That kid's a high
5.5.
I like the under. I actually do. Notre Dame's defense is just really strong. If Notre Dame's going to struggle, it's going to be on offense, even though Sam Hartman has been so good. He's almost in the Heisman category with how well he's been playing. But I think it's going to be you look at the last time they played each other, it was just, 17-10 or something, 17-9.
Notre Dame's 6th in the country in defense. Ohio State is 11th in the country in defense.
And if you look at Ohio State this year, they kind of have been slow on offense. They only won by 20 points against Indiana. They only won by, I think, like 30 against Youngstown State, which isn't a D1
They're always slow, though. They're always slow.
Yeah,
they did show up against Western Kentucky. They put some points up on them, 63-10, I think it was. So they're definitely getting it figured out. But they haven't seen a defense like Notre Dame all season. So that's what makes me very interested to see what happens. I would go the under, though. If I had to pick a bet where it doesn't include an outcome of the team, I'll take the under.
But I'm with you, Matt. I'm going to sit and enjoy the game this week. I don't want to have any bets on it. and be worried about it. I want to sit and enjoy that game because that game could be one of the better college games of the year this year.
Yeah,
for sure.
It really could. I might be very sad on Saturday, but let's jump to Thursday. Let's jump to Thursday, and we'll just crank it up. We talked Giants Niners, so I think we're good there. Georgia State, Coastal Carolina. I got to be honest, I don't know much about it. I have seen Georgia State; they played well, but Coastal Carolina, I think, has a little bit more talent. I don't know. I take probably 6.5 with Georgia State, but I would definitely do a little bit more dive into that.
Yeah,
I would.
Yeah.
You'd have to really sit down and look at this one here. Maybe swing the under at 62.5. That'd probably be my bet because, man, that's a lot of points. That's a lot of points.
The entirety of Coastal Carolina's, entirety has been we score and give up a ton of points. So I get that's why it's where the line is. But
it's like it stayed at 62.5 too since it dropped. So
yeah, and the 6.5 basically stayed too. So that hasn't changed either. So
easy. All right, let's do Friday then.
There we go. Some decent slated games, guys.
There's your Virginia, Matt, right there. Right smack dab in the middle.
What an absolute embarrassment Virginia is. They last week made everybody think that they were going to actually hang with Maryland, and Maryland just destroyed them.
Yeah,
it was a walloping in the second half. So I love, and it even jumped to 9.5. So I'm still taking the 9. I got it at 9. So, but screw it. You could do probably -17. I mean, this team is bad. They probably won't even score 10 points.
And Matt, NC State basically held with Notre Dame for 3 quarters, and then
they played
blown out the fourth. So
there was a couple of moments where I was like, "Oh man, this team is not giving up."
Right.
It wasn't NC State against Notre Dame, so that was a big part of it. But NC State's right up there in the ACC too. They want to be in that conversation against North Carolina and Florida State, and they have the defense to do it. So they've got the quarterback from Virginia, I believe, previously. Brennan Armstrong, I think. He was a Virginia Cavalier. So kind of cool. Hopefully he scores 100 on him. But give me NC State all day.
I can't believe Brown have no point spread on it. What the heck?
Here's another Friday night game, Wisconsin, Wisconsin. I believe last week lost in this one. 6. So if you can get it at 6 points here at the +6, I think I'd take that +6 on Purdue. Wisconsin's not the same like they were the last couple of years. Lost a lot of big keys. Really, dog? See, she wants Purdue as well, +6.
Wants Purdue as well.
That's what I'll look at.
So here's what I'll say about Wisconsin. 35-14, they beat Georgia Southern. Everybody said, hey, take the over in that game. They were surely mistaken because, yes, Wisconsin has turned themselves into an air raid offense, and they were doing some things well at the end of the game. But you're not going to hit the overs if your air raid offense doesn't complete the passes. I mean, it was ugly. It was ugly for a while. Yeah. And Purdue has been ugly too. They have just really been inefficient offensively. Syracuse, which nobody's talking about right now, made short work of them. Yes. I actually lean Wisconsin. I do.
Would you lean the under on this too, Matt?
I mean, I can see it going over, but I would go under because Purdue's offense doesn't match Wisconsin's, and the
defenses aren't great either way.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'd touch the under on it.
Purdue's is better than what team was it? Georgia Southern, but I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm kind of staying away from that one. Air Force, San Jose State, we talked about.
We talked about that one, yeah.
Love that. Boise, San Diego State. I don't know how Boise is the favorite. Have you guys watched Boise State? Seen anything about them? They are.
I just saw I saw the clips last week on it, but nothing shot out to me saying, "Hey, this is should be a favorite."
They're hot dookie.
Not by 7. I don't think they should be favored by 7.
So they lose.
So what I read today was San Diego State's offensive schemes are not very good. They don't run the ball well. Their quarterback is very inconsistent in the pocket. So maybe that's why Boise is a 7-point favorite, because their opponent. Because nobody thinks San Diego State's very good. They're in the bottom 5 to 10 of the NCAA in a lot of statistical categories. So I think that's probably why Boise is a 7-point favorite. But I wouldn't feel comfortable betting a side on this game. I really wouldn't.
So for college purposes, 45 is a very low under unless it's Iowa and Iowa.
It's an Iowa over under.
But if you look at the scores, they only scored 9 against Oregon State. Obviously, great defense. Only scored 10 against UCLA. I mean, they could have scored more there. They scored 36 on Idaho State, which the Idaho isn't even good. Idaho State's got to be way worse. And they only scored 20 on Ohio the first week of the season when their Ohio star quarterback went out. So the under makes sense. Boise State's the same thing. They can't score either. They scored a bunch on North Dakota. 42 points. 16 to UCF. UCF beat them 18-16. And then they only scored 19 on Washington. Washington put up 56 on them.
I'm big in the under now.
Yeah,
I'm taking the under now.
The under looks sweet, and I like the +7 for San Diego State. I mean, Boise could win by 7, you get the push, but I don't even know if I like that. Boise, they're at San Diego State. This team doesn't look good. I'm gonna go with the +7 on San Diego State.
Plus money is a great value on it too. I mean, it's all plus money. Wherever you go, it's going to be plus. So
it is. Let's go to Saturday's lineup here.
Yeah,
there's a lot of great games on Saturday this week.
TCU, SMU. Since the Colorado game, TCU has not given up an offensive touchdown. TCU is playing some really good football right now. 6.5. Give me TCU all day. I'll take the 6.5 with them.
I don't like this Rutgers Michigan line either. +24 or 24-point favorites. Quarterback has not played great for Michigan. I don't care if Harbaugh's back or not. I think he's back. I think I'd almost look at the +24 for Rutgers on it if it stays that much.
Over under is 44 too. So what Vegas is basically saying is Michigan's going to win like 36-7 or something like that. 37-7. I don't think that's going to be the case at all. Rutgers has played really good football.
Last year, Rutgers played Michigan well until I think the end of the game. 24 over.
That's a screwy over under with the 24-point spread. There really is.
Yeah, it is.
I like the under in that game, to be honest. I really do.
Under.
Yeah.
Let's go down the way here. We can talk real quick. Florida State, Clemson. Clemson looking for at home. Florida State looking for a big rebound off their BC troubles. What are we thinking here?
I'm smashing the under in this game too.
So what I think about Clemson is this: I have yet to see Clemson put a 80-yard drive together, other than the two layups they just played. They need to show me that they can put a 65 to 80-yard drive together to get my backing. So I may be a hands off on the betting wise in this game because I need to see Clemson do something in this game to show me. If I'm going to bet anything, it's Florida State in this game.
I mean, a number 4 ranked team in the country is getting 2.5 points against a team that has fallen out of the top 10 and not even in the top 25 anymore. It just blows my mind. Maybe it's a trap.
It doesn't make sense.
I just don't see it the trap at all. I actually looked at the line, see where the money was going. It's like 70-30 right now, Florida State. I'm still taking the Noles. I don't care.
According to BetStamp here, it's 55% favorite now for FSU.
Well, he would be my question on this game, too. Sam Travis, their quarterback, got hurt last week at BC. Hurt his shoulder. He stayed in and played the rest of the game. Do they know something that we don't in terms of his health? Is he not practicing or not? Maybe not going to play on Saturday? Because if he doesn't play, then I'm on Clemson because Travis needs to play.
Yeah, he is their whole team. That would definitely change things.
Yeah.
But
so that's why I'm thinking 2.5 is because of that. Maybe they know something that none of us do.
Right. And I don't see any news on him not practicing. So unless they know something that shoulder is worse than what it should be.
Yep.
That's something to watch for.
Exactly.
Anything else on this page, guys? Oklahoma, Cincy.
Army, Syracuse. I gotta lean Syracuse, man. That offense is
Yeah.
insane right now.
Syracuse,
Insane.
I think, covers that 13.5.
The over is, I think, going to explode in that game too. I'm
51.
surprised it's at 51. That's a 31-20 game, and Army definitely will score points.
They will. Let's see here. And one of these two. I ain't worried about these.
State Ball State.
Duke, Connecticut's a good one. 21.5 point favorites there for Duke. Over
I hope
and under
Connecticut
45.
I hope Duke can rebound the basketball really well in this game because that's going to be the key. This is a basketball matchup right here. Duke and
I
Connecticut.
commented on what's going on here. Calm down, okay? Calm down.
I like Duke. I think Duke's impressed me a lot this year.
I like that over,
Yeah, I like that over too.
especially against
I like
UConn.
Yeah, I think Duke's going to score 30 points this game.
I like the over, but I don't like the 21.5. I'd probably tease it down to 19.5, maybe. Get it under 20.
3 points. Yeah.
Because UConn actually does play semi-decent defense. And I think that's really their only skill.
Right. We discussed Colorado, Oregon already. Ain't worried about TT.
So, Tanner, stop at this
Maryland.
BYU Kansas game. Is that a trap for Kansas this week? Could that be a trap?
Yeah, I don't like the 8.5. I don't like it at all. It's not a good thing. BYU's been playing pretty good ball lately. And now you're going into KU, who struggled last week. KU's at home, which does help.
Yeah.
But I'm not taking the 8.5. I'll tell you that right now. I think we're looking at a 2-3 point ball game for this one.
Yeah, that's what everybody's been saying that I've listened to is that BYU is a live dog here. Well,
they want to get started. They beat Arkansas last week as a
They
dog.
did. They did. They were down double digits twice in that game and came back and won.
I'd take the 8.5 with BYU. I think Kansas can win, but I take the 8.5. I feel like that's pretty safe.
Yeah, I like the 8.5, plus 8.5 there for BYU. Just because what we saw at KU, their defense struggled, lots of, a few penalties that really hurt them, and it's just not good ball. But hopefully you're back at home now. You don't have to wait as long either to play like you did last Saturday. So 2:30 game. I'll do the plus 8.5 for BYU on that one.
Yep,
Scott,
the UMass game. I'd smash the under on that. I'd smash the under. I wouldn't touch the side. I'd smash the under. Both teams have a difficulty in scoring.
49.5 points. UMass hasn't even seen. The only time UMass has seen 49.5 points is on the other side.
I can't bet it here in Massachusetts because it's UMass. But I can suggest to everybody else take the under. I don't think they've seen a 49.5 over under in decades.
That's
Funny
right.
Pickett's best. Yeah, that's it. There you go.
Oh, Boston College. We talked Boston College. Ole Miss, Alabama. I'm not touching that game at all because
I love Ole Miss this week. I like
the plus 7 though.
You want to talk about a spotty team? Ole Miss. That's their identity is spotty. They're supposed to do this, and then they do the opposite.
Here's the deal with Ole Miss. Their defensive coordinator was at Alabama the previous 5 years, and Nick Saban ran him out of town. You think that guy's going to have the defense ready to play Alabama in that game with spotty quarterback play, who they have not played well at quarterback all year long, and they are lucky to escape South Florida with the 17-3 victory? I think Ole Miss is in a great spot in this game.
Hey guys, we got breaking news out here. Cam Akers of the Rams is being traded to the Minnesota Vikings for a swap in 2026 draft picks.
Wow.
Yeah,
Cam Akers
to Madison
the Minnesota Vikings.
Madison has just not been good. That is great for my.
We all knew it was going to happen. He knew it was going to be good.
That's great for my dynasty. I was using Clyde Edwards-Helaire as my RB2 in my dynasty league. That's how weak at running back I was, and I have Akers. So he slides back in there, yeah. And Najee's my 1.
You remember preseason how Minnesota was saying we love Madison, we're riding him in the run game, and now they traded for Akers, so that means Madison is back to a backup again. I think
Akers is honestly really good. He just didn't get along with Sean McVay, and that's going to bite him.
He did not.
It is.
I agree.
But I had to call out that there for that breaking news there. Akers to the Vikings. Let's see here. Utah is plus 4.5.
Utah at home is almost as automatic as any other college football team at home.
Is Cam Rising back? Yes.
He's supposedly playing this week.
Oh, give me the Utes, baby.
But that bet it now because that's going to shoot up.
I got to say one. Go back up a little bit. Oh, Oklahoma State, Iowa State. Take the under, and you could do it at under 10. That game is going to be 7-3. Like Iowa State can't score. They cannot score. That is going to be the most ugly. That's going to be the ugliest football game of the week.
What did Iowa State score against Iowa? Did they score like 14 or something? 10?
Yeah, 10. They threw up 14.
And they only scored 7 last week against Ohio. Ohio got
at the end.
My Bobcats. I love Ohio. Mac Attack.
Let's
see here. What about nighttime, guys? We get in the night frame. Arizona, Stanford plus. Stanford
I'm taking Arizona huge in that game because Stanford
minus 11.5. I'll take that.
They just lost. Stanford just got beat by Sacramento State.
How about the LSU Arkansas game? 17.5 favorites for LSU. 55.5 for the over under.
LSU came to play last week. They look good.
They did look good.
Phenomenal.
Appalachian State plus 3 against Wyoming coming in.
Wyoming played good against Texas. They played pretty good.
I don't know. I don't mind the App State plus 3 though. We'll have to see where that number winds up at. If it goes up anymore to plus 4 or 5, I'll drop something on it.
Yeah, I could probably go App State. They played well against North Carolina.
Iowa,
Penn State, big matchup. Plus that's 15 for Iowa. Ooh.
There's supposed to be rain that Saturday night in Pitt.
Yeah. Give me Iowa plus 15.
Yeah, I'll actually probably honestly take the over in this one here. I still think it's like some kind of 21, or 24-21 ball game. It's each score in the 20s.
Could be.
Let's keep going here down the way. You guys gonna take the plus 41.5 on UAB?
I'm sure tempted to take Georgia minus 42 based on what happened last week, but I'm not touching it. I'm gonna stay away from it. I thought better of it.
I can't.
Texas minus 14.5 against Baylor. I kind of like that number there.
Yeah.
14.5.
Bill's not good this year.
I think if it comes down to 13.5, I'll throw on it, but I don't think it's going to happen there. UNC and Pitt over under 50.5 there, minus 7.5 for UNC. I like the cover for UNC. Not quite sure if I want to do the over under on it.
Nah, I don't think so.
I like minus 7 for North Carolina. I like the push possibility, but I think they take good care of Pitt. They're going to take them down.
Here's one if you're looking for a dog: UCF and K-State here. K-State coming off that loss against Mizzou last week.
Garbage.
Looked horrendous, right? UCF has looked really good coming into now their conference play here. Plus 5.5. I'm dropping that plus 5.5 big time. I think it's another really close game against K-State's in another really, really, really close game again.
That K-State game was so disappointing.
So don't even talk about it. I don't even talk about it. Don't even want to talk about it.
Hey, if anybody's willing to stay up till midnight, you can watch Hawaii play.
Yeah, I know, right?
Against New Mexico. That's a barn burner.
57.5 right there. So USC and Arizona State 61-62 over under.
I take the under. Arizona State
the under too.
The only
Saturday
way that
fun. There's a lot of good matchups on Saturday.
Yeah, the only way the USC doesn't score 40 is if they're looking ahead to Colorado because that's who they play next.
But correct.
That's it.
Bills minus 6.5 is a crime. Bills if the Bills win, it's going to be by more than 6.5. I can guarantee you that.
Well, you're going against a better defense than you did last week, right? So you're going against Washington, who's looked better than the Raiders. I'm not going to say it's going to be like, really close or anything, but touchdown. Yeah, I could see you winning by a touchdown in this ball game.
I love that it's at 6.5. Anything more than that, I don't like it, but 6.5, I'll take it.
Wasn't New Orleans favored over Green Bay when the
They
week
were.
started. They were. Now all
Remember
of a sudden,
Monday?
all
We
the money's
talked
coming
about
to
it.
Green Bay.
New Orleans was favored. They have since been plus 115 on the money line. I'm still taking New Orleans and
I
this
am
one
too.
here.
Me too.
Because Aaron Jones, I don't think it's playing again.
Well,
No,
the
he's back to today.
Saints defense is no joke, and I
They
don't think
aren't.
Love hasn't seen a defense like that yet. The Falcons, he's
No.
played the Falcons and the Bears, and we
I
all know
call it
about
the Grisham Botkins Bowl right here.
Yep, that's right. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Atlanta and Detroit. Detroit, of course, missing out Montgomery. Got
that's
banged
fine.
up as well.
They'll finally use a good running back. They'll use
They will.
Gibbs.
No,
They will.
wait a minute. When Montgomery went out last week, their running back of choice was Craig Reynolds.
It was. That was the issue.
It
Foolish.
wasn't Jameer Gibbs. It was Craig Reynolds.
I
That's what
like
worries me.
I like the Lions in that game. I think that they, especially
At home, I do too. At
They
home,
take
I
care.
do as well.
I ain't touching it. Tell you that much after last week. Already talked Tennessee, Cleveland, Houston, Jacksonville's not much to talk about.
I
I
I
might take
love
the plus.
I
in the
love
under.
Miami over Denver by a
But,
touchdown. I love Miami.
-6.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Keep going down. Keep going down.
Let's see here. Indy, Baltimore, not worried. Carolina, Seattle.
I like Seattle at home.
Yeah.
If it was in Carolina, I would think a different story, but it's in
Chiefs,
Seattle. I like
Chiefs a
Seattle.
-12 favorite.
I like
against
the Chiefs.
Chicago.
I'm laying the 12 and taking Kansas City.
I think they gotta. I think they need to. I think they need to get the offense right. I think they'll feel a lot better beating up on the weaker man. And I hope Kelsey has 7 touchdowns because he's in my fantasy team.
Well, the Bears defensive coordinator resigned today. Okay, he's gone.
Dude,
That's
Alan
amazing.
Williams.
did you guys find out what the story was on that?
Did something about the? I heard Rappaport reported that the FBI was investigating him for something.
Child
likes-
pornography on his
Yep.
freaking work laptop.
Yep,
So he resigned today.
he resigned today. Yeah.
Child pornography on his work laptop.
Good riddance. Good riddance. And he couldn't even coach a defense, so it wasn't even a hard out.
Yeah,
But
like now he's gone for wrong reasons. Now your team's in more turmoil because you just
Yep.
lost one of your coaches. Like this -12 might be a hit.
Absolutely, I agree. I think it's got. Remember Buffalo last week, 38-10 or 31. It's got that kind of game written all over it this week.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Pitt,
Chicago
Las
scores
Vegas at the
a lot,
end.
to be honest.
I like Pitt here at the +122 still. It looked
Yeah.
better last week.
Give me the Raiders.
And they used Pickens. I like the +2.5, if not the money line.
I'm going to take the Raiders.
The only thing I would take the Raiders. Pittsburgh's short week has to travel across the country to play the Raiders on a Sunday night.
That's true.
That's tough.
It's at least
That's
Sunday
tough.
night, you know.
It's Sunday night, so yeah.
That's
so
the
it's
benefit
only
of
a
it.
day, but yeah.
All right.
Not much
Monday.
there though on the Sunday slate. And then Monday, of course, we got Philly, Tampa, Rams, Cincy, another doubleheader Monday night.
The line
Time
just
to
fell
play.
to 4.5. Wow. There's some faith in these Bucks, man.
I like the +4.5 there
Here's
for Tampa as well.
my reasoning for the 5 is I feel like Philly's going to win. And I just think that, you're kind of playing, 6 and 1, half dozen the other when the line is around 5, because it's realistically a touchdown victory, even if you're going to get 6 points. If they win by a field goal, I guess I understand, but I just think they're good enough to win by at least a touchdown. So I'm going to take that instead of the money line that's not as sweet. But I mean, hey, we'll see. Tampa.
I think what Tanner opened with, I think Mike Evans is going to have another big night. I think
so.
Philly's all banged up in the secondary, all banged up, and I think Evans and Godwin are going to eat this week.
Well, I wish it was Godwin because he's in my fantasy team.
Well, I think they're both going to have good games. I think this could be Godwin's best game of the year so far. I just think Tampa Bay is going to be able to throw the ball at will on Philadelphia.
Boy,
Alan loves those hot takes. Alan loves these hot takes.
I was about to say, Alan loves them hot takes, man.
He loves those hot takes.
I mean, it's not fully out of the realm. Let's be real here. We've seen
No, it's not.
matchups like this happen. And like I said again, Tampa's defense is healthy. I'm going to keep spurting this. Tampa's defense is healthy. They haven't really had bogged down with injuries yet. And we all know when that happens. And if Baker continues to play like he does, why not?
I could see that line being 3 points by kickoff on Monday night. I could see Tampa Bay taking on huge money and being a 3-point underdog. Which means if you like Philadelphia, or if you like Tampa Bay, get it now. It's a better number. So
fair enough. Well, gentlemen, that's the slate, gentlemen. We went 10 minutes over an hour, but we're gonna get better at it. Don't worry. Scott, I'll leave it to you first. Why don't we let everybody know what we got going on?
So we're in. I'm off tonight. LTS show tomorrow night. Pick 'em Thursday night for us. Obviously, we'll go with the Sunday slate. Botkins is in trouble because I hope Jonathan Grisham beats his butt in the Saints beat the Packers. Then Sunday, I'm back Sunday with the LTS show, so I got a couple days off here to kind of look over my bets, place them, and be ready to go. So no Scott Cobe show this week. Johnny Cruz has a family obligation, so. But next week, the Scott Cobe show will start a brand new show format. It'll be DFS oriented. We will go over the slate, pick our 3 favorites at each position, and talk about DFS, me and Johnny. So 30 minutes. Hopefully Tanner will come on one time. Rob Logan be another guy I want to get on. Matt's free. He can come on. Ryan, I'll just try to get as many of the LTS guys as I can on the show talking about DFS if you play.
I was hoping we would expand our bet shows a little bit because there's just so much. There's such a saturation of different types of bets that we don't get to cover it. So I'm happy that you're doing that, Scott, and I'll absolutely come on and talk that because there's been times where I want to do that here, and it's like, we got so many other things to cover.
We could be sitting here for 2 hours, man.
2 hours, yeah.
Like just talking different bets, DFS, fantasy. Like we could literally just sit here for a good 2.5, like during a Monday night game or something, and be like that. I tell you.
Yeah, I think also it's good if one show like this does all the betting and then another show like mine does DFS. So that way you have 2 separate shows. Because like Tanner said, we could be on for 2.5 hours just talking about all sorts of stuff. We could be here until the buffoons.
The buffoons would show up, and I'd still be here on a Wednesday night talking to you guys. Probably not.
So that's what I want to package, and then next year we're gonna probably talk to golf majors, Masters, PGA Tour, U.S. Open, stuff like that, and betting wise too, because I've done really well on golf bets this past season, so I wanted to bring that into play too. It's not on the Let's Talk Sports Network, so I said, why not? Let's do it. And I threw it by Tanner, and he said, go for it. So we're gonna do it.
All righty, man of many hats. Tanner,
yes.
Go ahead and let everybody know what you got going on.
Continue to work on the channel here, looking towards building the future here with it. Let's Talk Sports. Shout out Dan, of course. I'll be on with the Buffoons tonight. Give our easy money bet. I'll pick one of these college bets and one of these NFL bets for my easy money bet. So be on the lookout there. I'll be on tomorrow afternoon for about 20 minutes with Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover, Mr. Paul Redmond, giving out some predictions as well. Back on the second hour, Thursday, tomorrow night for the our spread picks for the week 3 slate as we go into it. I'm excited for that in the second hour. And then, of course, back for the pregame show Sunday morning. Wait, I won't be on Sunday morning. I'll be at a baseball tournament this weekend. So first tournament this weekend, I play it. Well, you know what? I'm going to reserve. I may or may not be on, depending on what time the hell we play on Sunday and if we don't get rained out here. So, but I'm around, be doing stuff. I like Scott said on the show this morning, keep an eye out for announcements, keep an eye out for stuff. It's going to be about a couple months here, but we're working here. We're going to make this thing good. We're going to keep growing this Let's Talk Sports thing that's not ending yet. So let's roll, guys.
I think you can just make your own schedule like that, huh, Tanner?
How weird. Wait, hold on. Let me look here. Yep, that channel says the owner is Tanner. Yep, that's right.
Oh, I see what we're
Well,
doing.
Here's
Whoa.
the thing. So here's the thing. Okay. I don't think I was on a show. I think I was in Vegas. And the text that were going on, Tanner, we need this. Tanner, where's this? I was like, oh my God. Without Tanner, it's like they lose control. When there's no
So
show
my
set up.
phone
There's the
against the
show.
wall.
Yeah. With all that being said, Dan, we're all thinking about you.
Absolutely. No
this
doubt.
train is going to continue to roll no matter what. I'm happy to be a part of it, and I'm happy to see where it goes. So super pumped about that. But join me on Thursdays with my brother as we talk fantasy football. Good stuff going on. Pretty much going to take your questions and comments, kind of doing an open forum. And we'll have some topics too, but that's at 5 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. And of course, join us again here, folks, 5:30 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. Let us know comments, thoughts, questions you have for bets, and we'll be happy to address them. But until then, folks, thanks so much for joining in, and take care. We'll see you soon.